Yes, I'd just like to share this morning. I haven't been here for a couple of weeks, but the last time I was here, nearly all of you prayed for me when Alistair was here, and Alistair prayed, and I remember I was anointed. And when I left here, well, just going back a bit, probably for about a fortnight, I was in and out of bed with the most horrific pain that I hadn't experienced all the way through having injections in my eyes, which has been about 2 years now. But I've never experienced this type of pain. It was just, well, I can't describe it. It was just something else. And I came on that Sunday. On the Thursday, just before the Sunday, something happened. I don't know what it was, but just something in me happened. And that's a bit of a throwaway comment. But it was almost as if I was anticipating something that was going to happen, but I didn't know. I still didn't know. I still had the pain, but it was just something that had changed. And I came on Sunday, and I know lots of people here have been praying for me all through the 2 years that I've been having injections, and there's been hundreds, probably thousands of people. Phil puts out prayer requests for all sorts of people, including myself, on all the prayer groups that he's involved with over the years. And one of the people that has never spoken to him, but always sent prayer requests to him, and that is Canon Andrew White. You might know him as the Vicar of Baghdad, but quite an amazing man. Anyway, I left here with a level of about 5 in as far as pain went, where it had been much worse than that. I went home, and Phil got a message from Andrew White. And again, Phil never spoke to him. I definitely hadn't spoken to him. And he said, I want to ring and speak to Barbara this afternoon. Well, I thought, oh my goodness, a canon? It's a me. I know. Yeah, bang. Anyway, he rang, and he didn't know anything about what happened here on Sunday, and I've been prayed for and been anointed. And he said lots of things to me. And as he was talking to me, and he said, I'm going to pray for you at the end. But I'm not really going to remember this. I've written it all down, but it's far too much to bring and read to you all. But he was talking about what had happened through the Bible right up to present day. And it was the 27th of July. And it's a celebration in the Jewish calendar of, I can't remember the name, but it's something like Hishmal Abar or something like that. You have to look it up. And he said that the Jewish nation has been persecuted right the way through. We all know about it, right up till present day. And he said, but out of darkness will come light. And as he was talking to me and praying with me, I just felt that, again, something was happening. And on the Monday, I went to Frimley, not expecting an injection, but really in faith, believing that God had healed me. Whether it was going to be today or tomorrow, but I had been healed. Anyway, I went to see my consultant, and she did a scan, and she said, oh, there's no fluid in the vein that stops the blood flowing. So there's no need for an injection today. But she said, I've been looking, and she said, well, I want to see you in 4 weeks' time, which was last week. And I don't think she actually believed what she was seeing. And I said, well, lots of people have been praying for me. And she sort of, did a bit of a, oh yeah, really, really say very much. Yeah. Anyway, when I went back last week, I really knew I wasn't going to have an injection. I absolutely knew it in me that I wasn't going to have an injection. And when I got there, I just normally have one scan and then I go in and see her. I'd had the scan, went in to see her, and she said, "Oh, I'm just sending you for another scan." And I thought, well, that's really unusual because I only ever have one scan. So off I went for another scan. She said, "Oh, you know, just wait outside and I'll call you in." And then she came back again, she said, "I'm sending you for a third scan." I thought, oh my goodness. Right, okay, wasting someone's time here. Off I went for a third scan. Came back and she, you know, your eye looks like a great big, I don't know, maybe one of those exercise balls on these screens. And she said, "That was last time you came, which was 4 weeks ago. And as you can see, that all the fluid had gone." But she said, "This is this week. This is today." And she said, "There's a dark area there." And she said, "What has happened? You have had another bleed." Well, I sort of wanted to go, whoa. She said, "Actually, it's gone. It was there, but it's not there now." She said, this has happened, and it's you haven't got a bleed anymore, and you don't need an injection today." So I've got to go back in 4 weeks' time again. I've got to take my blood pressure and all of that and everything else. But the biggest thing is, when I was talking to Andrew White, he said to me, "You need to praise through everything and declare what the Lord has done. You need to witness to everybody that you speak to that the Lord has healed you." And at that point, I sort of didn't know that he had, but I thought, right, okay, I'm just going to praise God for healing me. I've been prayed for, and I felt it in my right inside that something had happened. And then Andrew said to me, "What I really believe God is saying is that anyone that you are going to pray for people that have the same condition as you, and they're going to be healed." I thought, okay, right, okay, don't know anyone at the moment, but if there's anyone here that has the same condition as me, I definitely will pray for you. But one of the things he said was that when we are going through whatever we're going through, whether it's physical pain, whether it's mental pain, he said, people will see Jesus whilst you continue to be thankful and tell people how blessed you are, rather than going, "Oh gosh, my eye, my this, my that," and telling everyone about that, which I'm definitely guilty of, you know, especially because Phil, "Oh, I can't do this," you know, and all of that. He said, if you can praise God through all of that, God will use you. And then his last words were to me, "Really believe that out of darkness comes light." And, you know, for me, that was a bit of a, you know, literally a physical thing, because I really, it's almost as if something's been lifted from my eyes. You know, I feel a new person. I just do. And it's not just the you know, the fact that God's healed me, it's something else has happened, and I'm waiting to see what that is, waiting to see what the Lord's doing. The other thing was that the consultant said to me, "I can explain the headaches." She said, and this made me laugh. She said, what happened, what I believe has happened, when you had those headaches, it was a prelim to the bleed that you had further back. And I believe during that time of the pain and the bleed, there were so many people praying for me that God, you know, we've just sung, "I called and you answered." I think it was, we called, you know, in the hundreds, and God answered. And it was at that point, I believe, that God answered. That through that pain, there was something else going to happen, but God stood in, stepped in, and it did happen, but it hasn't caused anything. She showed me that it was there, and she said, "But I can see the evidence of it being there with that black shadow, but it's not there anymore. I don't need to have anything done." So praise God.